Anything that is worth pursuing takes a while. Anything that is worthwhile takes a while. Today, I want to talk about how you can achieve the best version of yourself. Not only monologuing and teaching you and acting as if somewhat I have a secret of the universe, but not only that, I will actually dig deep into myself, inside of myself, understand myself, exploring myself. So it's not only I will tell you, but I'll tell myself and explore myself, really digging deep to answer the question, which is how to be the best version of myself, or to answer the question of which the answer is it's the best version of myself. I'd say I'm specialized in this subject as I have been studying this exact topic for about a few years now. It's not a college specialty. It's not something that you read. There's no books that will teach you that, but it's more of actually doing research. But instead of doing research in nature, I do research in myself. You do research in yourself. I do things and for the sake of understanding myself better. And it's all tracked on Excel sheets and tables, etc. But obviously, I'll be giving you this here, laying down this information for you. Now, let's get started. What is the best version of myself? Let's just define the word. What is the best version of anyone's self, of any self? It's quite interesting. So the first time I thought about it was about 2-3 years ago when I started this channel, and I was making a lot of videos about different topics about persistence and dreams and passion and work and hardships and all of these elements. And I was looking for patterns, and I saw a word when I was doing the research about these topics, which is the best version of yourself, the best version of yourself. And I was really obsessed with being the best version of myself for years now, but I really wasn't going deep on it. I said, that's interesting. But what makes it a bit special is being the best version of myself or of yourself. You don't have to respond to an objective need, but it's more of subjective needs. You don't have to have anything that you don't already have. You don't need anything exterior of what you already have. So I'm not saying you don't need anything exterior as if you don't need tools. Yes, of course you need tools, but any tool that you already have, it's not something that you cannot have. I'm gonna give you an example to drive this home. So let's say, okay, here's a very good point. Let's say in theory, or objectively speaking, the best way to become a good boxer is to go to the best gym in the country, as an example, or in the city, or let's just even make it simple. The best way to become a good boxer is to go to a gym, a boxing gym. Let's say you live in a village. You live in an area where there is no boxing gyms. It's not possible for you to go to the boxing gym. Or let's just be honest and real and authentic. You don't have the money to go to the boxing gym. How do you do that? Now, the best version of yourself won't just sit there, but he will just train anyway. And that is the best version of yourself. And it's not about this bullshit like this example, but the point is, he doesn't have any other resources that you don't have or I don't have. So the best version of myself has the same camera, the same microphone, the same computer, the same bed, the same room, the same decoration, but he uses it to get better. He uses this in a better way, right? Not necessarily even better results at times. So that was interesting. When I thought of that, I was like, fuck. That's so interesting. Because I used to compare myself with others. Now that's deadly, yeah? For a lot of reasons, actually, when you compare yourself to others, it's almost as if you're killing yourself every time you do it. I used to compare myself with all these YouTubers and content creators and this and that. And at some point I went to a rabbit hole So somewhat it feels like a graveyard or underground that it was just weird. They were just comparing myself here and there, but I wasn't doing a lot. I wasn't even competing. So after a while, I realized the comparison won't make me any better. As cliche as I've heard it a billion times, but I said, then how can I even be better? If I don't compare myself with other people, how do I know if there is anyone who's better than me so I compare myself to, so I feel the need to actually be better? Well, that person is the best version of myself. The best version of myself doesn't, so go to the boxing again, doesn't have some golden gloves. He has the same gloves that I have, but he boxes and he uses them better. Maybe a lot of the times it's just our mental barriers and our mental carriers. We give ourselves a mental blocks that blocks us and imprison us in a way that it's really unhealthy for us. And that was a bit surprising. And I have made videos about this when I really explored it for the first time. It's on the channel, you can go look it up, but I doubt if you would find any because the videos are all mistitled, and the old ones at least, but not mistitled, but it was like a lot of topics at the same time. So it was extremely interesting for me to explore such thing in such a world, as I really don't have to be someone else. I don't have to be someone else. I can just be me. And that is the best version of myself. How interesting. How surprising that is. Because a lot of the times I really want to be someone else. I really want to be and have other things. I'm going to give you a good example, which hurt. I know it will hurt me while I'm saying it. I really would want to if I was living right now in the US. I really would. It's true. But I can't live the life of someone else. Right? I'm not there. I'm not in the US. Okay. I live my life. I don't have to be in the US to be the best version of myself. I can be anywhere on the planet and be the best version of myself. Well, okay, some places are harder to be the best version of yourself than others. But generally speaking, that's what it is. So that was a good introduction as defining what is the best version of any self. Now, let's go a bit deeper and see how I can become the best version of myself. So the first thing that I thought of was just to have mental frames where I think of myself all the time, what the best version of myself is doing right now. And if it's not the thing that I'm doing, then I go do it. That was the first idea that I had. I still use it till this day. It's extremely effective. Then a few months later, almost a year later, or half a year later, I said, I gotta do something more. I really need to get the hang of it. Then I started analyzing myself. I started analyzing my past. So you see, almost like training. Let's say the Rocky, when he was training, had a mentor, or had a teacher or coach. And the coach look at him and he analyzes what he does. Oh, his left hook is a bit downward. It has to be slightly upward, and the wrist has to be tilted, right? So those analyses that the coach or the mentor notices are the ones that gives the huge upgrades in personality when it comes to the Rocky. A lot of us, including me, I don't have a mentor. Even if I have a mentor, my mentor wouldn't have to be all the time. So there is aspects of me that I have to understand myself on how to analyze. And that is the exact point of how this works. Is that instead of having a coach, instead of having a mentor, I become the mentor and the students as well. So let's say I'm interested in martial arts, let's say Taekwondo. So every time I train, I write down all of the important things. So I don't know anything about Taekwondo, but let's say I'm in a fight. How many times I do a high kick? Okay, this time I done 10, this time I done 20, this time I done 30. And I see all of the combats and how many high kicks I hit. And I realized that the combats that I hit more than 20 kicks, I win. As opposed to the combats that I do less than 20 kicks. So this is more of a simple way, but I can't notice that I have to do more than 20 kicks for me to win. I can't understand it without having some sort of tracking ability, actually laying down. So for this example, after each fight, I go back to the house, I play the video, I play the fight. Okay, high kick, high kick, high kick, high kick, high kick. The end of the fight, let's calculate it. So this is a very interesting and very simple way of tracking. This is how you track, this is how you measure anything. And that was really what gave me, I'd say, a deeper understanding of how to become the best version of myself. And in life, it's not like boxing or Taekwondo, but you have a lot of elements. And I'm pretty sure in Taekwondo and boxing, you have a lot of elements. But in life, it might differ a bit. It might be your drinking habits, your drug habits, right? It might be how many times you don't say no when you're supposed to say no. It's who you hang out with. Maybe you're spending so much time on parties, on social media, with girls, with, I don't know, with bad people. Maybe you have bad habits or patterns. Let's say you have low confidence, you look bad, you don't sleep good, you have low energy, you don't focus, you don't make any progress when it comes to your goals, you don't read books, So all of these are patterns, and it differs from somebody else to somebody else, which is understandable. It will be different from you than it is for me. But the point, nevertheless, is that you have some components that make who you are as an individual, that make you, you. Now, when you understand those and you lay them down, you start to track them. Okay, how many times I go to the parties a month? This time I went to 2, next time 0, the next time 8, the next time 7. By month 5, 6, 8, 7, 1 year, if I was doing it monthly, I'll look back at the months and I'm like, fuck. I was the best version of myself in April. In April, I done 0 parties. So I have to do 0 parties. I would advise to have longer periods of time because it's your life and it's not like a simple game. So you really want to have a lot of years. Personally, I would say at least 3 years. And you don't have to do it monthly. I do it trimester, so it's 3 months, which is every quarter. And it's easy to even do it. You invest like half an hour to 2 hours, depending on how fast you are with the Excel sheets. And you can go to the past 3 years and sort of guess how you are. So like, okay, in the first quarter of last year, I was not doing a lot of parties. The second quarter, a lot of parties. Third quarters, 0 parties. Fourth quarter, I was doing extremely high parties. It's just like very easy to guess and to have a very good idea. Obviously, it's your life, which gives you a very good understanding. Personally, where I'm at, I have 5 years. I have 2021, I have 2022, I have 2023, I have 2024, and I have 2025 full. So all the trimesters, which is I have 20 data columns or rows, whatever, that has each of the components tracked. So I'll go back to it and I'm like, okay, I've been the best version of myself in these months, in this month. Let's see what I was doing differently in these months than the others. In the trimesters, I don't do months, I do trimesters every 3 months, quarter. So what I was doing different in these quarters than the others? I was actually more confident. I did more sports. I ate healthy. I took care of my mental health. I was brutal, I was harsh. I say no, I don't care. I read more books, I do this, I do that. And it's different for you than it is for me. But I would say that's how you are the best version of yourself. And I've heard this from Luke Belmore, and I'm pretty sure it is. I don't listen a lot to Luke Belmore, but I remember one thing I've heard him say that stuck with me. And I'm pretty sure I also read it in a book by Napoleon Hill, which is Rich and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich. In the last, the very last chapters, the very last pages, which is, they talk about energy of humans and vibrations and all of that. And they say, I'm pretty sure it's scientifically proven or something, but I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's scientifically proven somehow that the highest frequency of vibration that humans give are when they are authentic. And I'm pretty sure it's scientifically proven even when it comes to mind, electrical activities. When you are authentic and true of yourself, you have the highest frequency of vibration. Your mind works differently. I'm just trying to run with that. I don't know if it is true, but I'm gonna run with that. And it's true. I even look at myself, not even the past 5 years, I look at myself all my life and I say, which was the most honest, authentic? At what age I really felt me? And I would say, well, I'm generally thinking, right? Never thought of this. Okay, I thought of this, but not precisely. Not recently. So I would say the most authentic that really felt like me in my life when I was 6 years old, when I was 8 or 9 years old, when I was 14 years old, and maybe now, the past 2 years, so 21, 22 years old. When I was 6 years old, I was exploring life. I was watching National Geographic documentaries, learning about space, having spacecrafts models, sketches of rockets that I have just imagined. I make some sort of handmade elevators in the house. I make bows and rows and arrows and bows and make them, and I invent things and I try to do prototypes of planes. That's when I really felt myself. Same thing with 9, 8, 9. 14 years old is the first time when I started making videos on the internet. I had the opportunity to make videos. I felt the most authentic because I had a Nokia before and I was filming videos. I just did that, being authentic. And when I had the opportunity, my brother gave me an iPad. I had the opportunity to actually make videos and upload them on the internet. I said, oh my God. And I felt authentic. It feels like me. I am me. I am being me, making videos. And that almost disappeared for a while until it came at the age of 21, 22 with this channel, where I am authentic. Do you see me now? I haven't hanged up a poster yet, and I'm making a video. I'm wearing this suit, and I'm wearing a lot of clothing because it's cold, and I am literally freezing. I'm shaking a bit. I don't know if you've noticed, because it's a bit cold. Why would I not wear something that feels me a bit hot and warm and comfortable while making something that I like and love? Well, any other time before, I couldn't do that. I used to film videos in the freezing cold and I wear almost nothing because I know that what looks good on camera. That's not really authentic. So Being the best version of myself and of yourself will make you the most authentic. Now, let me give you examples that I have noticed and coined myself of people that I think they're pretty authentic. One, Murphy. He's an actor. He won an Oscar. I'm pretty sure he won an Oscar. He should have, right? I'm pretty sure he'd have done. And he's also, which will give it away, he's also the actor, the main actor in Peaky Blinders. He's the MC, the main character. He's the main character in Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan, the producer Christopher Nolan. So he's pretty good. He's a very interesting man. And when you look at him at the set, he's a bit different. It's almost, they call it like a different energy, a different aura now they call it. Why? Because he's authentic. He's not trying to, he's just him, being himself. He's authentic more than being himself. The same thing with the producer Christopher Nolan. I've just watched an interview of him yesterday before I've made the video, or the day before it, about 2 days ago. Before I made one of the videos, one of the episodes that I've made lately. That episode was about exploring myself and feeling myself and what I feel. This episode is more about the best version of myself. But nevertheless, when you look at Christopher Nolan, he's the same thing. He had a different aura. You can say he's authentic to himself, right? And being authentic just makes you different. And I don't think that there is any disadvantage of being authentic. Oh, well, okay, maybe for some people, but not for me. I'll speak for myself, and I'm pretty sure for most people it won't. Because being authentic means you take care of yourself. It does mean that. It does mean that you do what you must do, and it's just so interesting. And I'm a bit blittering, I'm a bit shaken of it, it's too cold. I don't know. This is a good thing. Usually when I shake and I feel cold, it means I have an adrenaline rush. Usually because I'm scared. When I get scared, I feel cold and I shake, which is interesting. Which means that I'm really getting deep and into the nitty-gritty of this topic of being the best version of myself. So, okay. What if I have to say one thing, or like one class of talk about being the best version of myself, and everybody on earth will hear it, and it's the last time I'll ever talk on earth or talk about it? I would say being the best version of myself is the only way for me to live without losing my mind. It's the only way for me that genuinely gives my brain. It's the only lifestyle where I truly believe in what I have in my head and my brain. It's the only mode of life where I really get the inspiration of almost as if it's the only mode of my life where I, instead of looking of what I should be, I look of who I am. And instead of making the life, instead of life coming at me, it comes from me. It's the only thought vibration that elevates me to the level of Leonardo da Vinci, when he was young and learning about it and hearing about it, about Albert Einstein, about Isaac Newton, about Van Gogh, about these people that don't look at life coming at them, but they make life coming from them. And this is when I am the best version of myself.